All right, we are rocking and rolling. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a little bit of Starfinder in the Sven Zone. We're doing some Dawn Dead Suns, Book 5. I've just realized is watching the. All right, we are rocking and rolling. Hello, everybody. Watching the intro, it still says Dead Suns. I mean, the Ruined Clouds, so we'll need to fix that because that was Book 4. We're now in Book 5. But everybody say hi. Book
Hello.
5. I've just realized is watching the. All right, we are rocking and rolling. Hello, everybody. Watching the intro, it still says Dead Suns. I mean, the Ruined Clouds.
Alberta,
So we'll need to
can
fix
you
that
give
because
us a
that was
shout
Book
out
4.
to
We're now in Book
the
5.
sound?
But everybody say hi. Book
Hello.
5. I've just realized is watching.
Hello.
All right, we are
Forgot that
rocking
I
and
had my
rolling.
mic
Hello,
muted.
everybody. Watching the intro, it's Clouds.
Alberta,
So we'll need to
can
fix
you
that
give
because
us a
that was
shout
Book
out
4.
to
We're now in Book
the
5.
sound?
But everybody say hi. Book
Hello.
5. I've just realized is watching.
Hello.
Awesome. All right, we're good to go. I'm going to shut that down before my computer explodes. It is yelling at me because it doesn't like having multiple internet. So let me go ahead and pull up a quote for today. Start our stream with a quote. You see a loaf of bread with a hole in it. The baker says, I baked it with a small tin cup that had glue in it, and now I removed the cup so it is gluten free. All right, so we don't have Reno in sound yet, so he's still getting connected to Discord. I was trying to wait until I was hoping it normally doesn't take him as long to get on Discord. I was waiting to share some info with him, but let's take a look at this. We were talking about downtime because if you look at the message of the day, you see that the group did a quick run to Absalom Station, and they were hailed as heroes while they were there, did some interviews, talked to some people, got the ship upgraded, and then now they're heading out. I'm going to wait for a moment to go over the details of the ships, and I do say ships because Firewall has his own ship, and we'll go over some of the details of what was upgraded on those once Reno comes on. But as they headed out into space, they had been there for about a week when they stumbled onto a ship that was in distress. And so they ended up rescuing a princess and some of her crew. There were 4 of them, but only 3 of them were still alive. They repaired her ship for her, and they headed out into the drift on their way back to the Pact Worlds and to Absalom Station. And it is now the next day where we're going to pick up. So anything either of you two would like to add to what happened? We did not stream, so those of you who were following on YouTube or whatnot, there were just too many technical difficulties, so we did not stream last time we played. The time before that was our one shot. So it's been a minute since you guys have seen us. Was there anything else you guys wanted to add to what was going on and what happened?
If I remember correctly, the ship had passed through a part of the drift where they wound up with like ghostly apparitions on the ship that attacked them, but they weren't really there anymore, or they were gone by the time we got to it.
Correct. There was a Garagackle on the ship, and
Whoa.
as they were getting ready to fight
There he is.
the Garagackle, when they first realized it was there, they then went through a irradiated cloud that basically acted like an EMP and shut everything down, from their weapons to their ship to everything. And after killing one of the crew members, that's when they went into the cloud, so the Garagackle fled from this cloud. And that's where they drifted for a while with the engine and everything offline, no power at all, just enough. They were able to get the emergency, one of the backup power supplies going, just enough to run their life support for a few days, and that's where you guys found them. All right, looks like we have Reno with us. Are you there, Reno?
I'm on audio.
Woohoo, yay.
I can't find the link in Discord for the video. Any suggestions on how to do that?
Your camera was perfect. We just didn't.
I'm not seeing
We were
anything.
on
So
the video for a little while.
No, it was. Whatever you
it
did
was,
before
yes.
was.
So I reset it, and that got me the audio. So now I'm trying to reset it to get the video. I'm not resetting. I mean, I meant the reset should give me the video, but I can't find how to get to the freaking thing. Right now, I've got a wholly different screen up here. What the hell that's about? I don't know how to get out of that either. Inbox, focus, more, anything.
All right, so let me see if this
No.
link is the same. Give me just a moment. I will make it the same, and you can look in the notes in.
It should be. I have not changed since we started using it, the Ninja.
It's the same every time.
Yes.
Okay.
You have two different ones because you're in two different games. But give me just a minute.
Oh, okay. So where am I supposed to go now?
I've been using the same one for both games.
I assume you just reloaded. I didn't realize it. No, what's that?
I just need a better computer.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Don't we all?
Right. Take this one and get
All
it.
right, so
that.
your link is in the cameras. So if you go to note in Fantasy Grounds that says cameras, your link there is.
Notes, okay, cameras, good. So that's the best thing. Cameras.
And you just click the Paizo symbol and it'll do it for you automatically.
Okay, there we go, right there. Click that. All right, Paizo symbol again. Open, yes. Okay, and that's that. Allow.
My point is, it wasn't about it.
Start. And then meet the volume. Wait a minute, hold on.
All right, so we can see you and hear you now. Yay. So let's talk about your ships for a minute, and we'll come back to the downtime in just a minute.
How about now? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
All right, so I did everything exactly the same as what I had done, just so you know. It was not me fucking up. Okay.
All right, so taking a look at the ships, we'll start with a little baby ship. It is called Fievel's Bite. It is it's a tier 3 ship. It's a little tiny size. It's a tiny. It's a fighter. It's got a speed of 8. It now has a Mark 8 armor, and it has 60 shields. It's got a Mark 3 computer, so that means you'll get a +3 to to anything that you do once per round. You have basic short range sensors and a Mark III defenses, which means if somebody tries to shoot you with missiles, that's what the Mark III defenses do. So with that extremely high armor, you have an armor class of 20 plus your ranks in piloting, not your total, but your ranks in piloting, which should be like 9 or 10. So your armor class is going to be like 30, and your TL, which is what they use when missiles shoot at you, is going to be like probably like 24, 23. You have a light plasma cannon and a flak thrower. You only had one weapon before, so they added the back weapon. Again, the flak thrower is mostly
Defense.
to shoot missiles that are coming up your butt. However, you can shoot it at a creature or something. A ship, if the ship is right behind you. But the light plasma cannon is a short range, but it does 2d12, I believe it is. It's either 2d10 or 2d12, so it's pretty nice. And if you look there
I
on
did.
that second page where it says tactical, you'll see that it has a denotes that any check you get a +3 once per round.
I didn't get the stats on the our ship. I have Fievel ship. I don't have a.
Right, because we
Fievel's
aren't
bite.
going over that one yet. And then in the notes,
Oh, this is all about Fievel's bite.
yes, this is all
Yes.
about
Oh, I
Fievel's
I
little
thought we
fighter.
switched. Wow, this thing is amazing then.
And this is that's what it looks like now.
Ooh.
It's just a short little thing, one person. You get your target in front of you and pew pew. So that's what it is. Bobby, any questions on your ship?
No.
Bobby, got a nice ship there, dude.
Yep.
I thought you were talking about our ship. I was like, wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I said, wait a minute, we have more weapons out back. What the hell? We lost some stuff. All right, my mistake. This is pretty cool then.
All right, so here is the Mariko Nash. So the Mariko Nash is a tier 10 ship. You have
That's what I'm talking about.
speed of 10. You have you've upgraded your drift engines, so you now have a number 2 second class signal booster drift engine. You have Mark 6 armor. You also have what's called ablative armor. So what the ablative armor does is you have shields, and those have changed too. We'll talk about those in just a minute. But if something shoots you and it goes through your shields, it normally would hit the hull. And then when it goes through the hull, it then does or enough damage to your ship. It then does critical thresholds and things start breaking down on your ship. Well, because you have this ablative armor, you layered onto your ship these plates and stuff. Basically give you temporary hull points. So
Okay.
the difference is if your hull gets damaged, you can fix that pretty much just by stopping and fixing it. Your ablative armor can't be fixed until you get to a repair somewhere that can actually repair, like a starship station or a planet. But you have 100 points of that, so that'll be nice for you guys. You also have a nanocarbon fortified hull, and what that does is when something reaches when you take damage and it's reaches that critical threshold, that's when stuff starts breaking down.
Yeah.
And for yours, it's every 24 points of damage. It should only be it should only be every 15 points of damage you take, something bad happens. But because of this fortified nanocarbon plate that you have, it almost doubles it to 24. So they have to do 24 damage before something breaks inside your ship.
Nice.
That's nice.
The other thing that they did upgrade you have is you changed your shields. So before, the way the shields worked is you had, I believe it was 100 points of shields, may have been 120, that are divided around your ship. So front, back, port, starboard had 25 points of shielding, let's say. It was 25 or 30. Somebody hits you from the port side and does 40 points of damage. The shields take the first 30, and then it goes through. But you still had full shielding on the other sides. But as long as they kept hitting that one side, you had no shielding left. Well, this
Okay.
type of shield is now you switched over from the conventional shields to a deflector shield.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
So a deflector shield provides, you get 15 points of shielding.
Okay.
First of all, if somebody decides to ram you or do
Hey, Tom.
certain weapons called Ripper weapons, you get double the shielding against those type of things because they just deflect anything that's physical gets deflected. So you take half. It counts as 30, reduces 30 points of damage. The other thing though is when you get hit after the first 15 points, the next round your shield will be back to 15.
What points I had?
Anytime they go through these deflector shields and hit the hull, then it gets reduced by 1 point for that quadrant. So for example, they do 30 points of damage to your port side. 15 of it gets deflected. 15 goes through. The next round, you have 14 points of shield again without having to do any kind of check or anything engineering wise. You're back to 14. It's one less than what you had the last round. And so the engineer can repair that damage. So to put it back up to 15 every round, that type of thing. So basically what it does is it allows you to have shields that deflects the incoming damage from attacks, but they're consistent. They stay there all the time instead of being depleted and then having to be brought back up.
Right. Is that John in the background? I'm not hearing John.
Yeah, that's him in the background.
Okay, so I'm not hearing him then very much.
You're not supposed to. She just doesn't. He's just talking in another room away from her. He doesn't play on this campaign.
Oh, okay. Tell him to quiet down then.
So you upgraded your computer to a Mark III, but instead of just a Mark III like it's on a fighter, it's a Mark III Trinode. So if you look at the tactical tab, you'll see you get +3 on 3 checks throughout every round. You also have advanced long-range sensors, which gives you a +4, and you have a really long range. You also have a Mark V defenses against countermeasures. In the tactical tab, you'll see what all that stuff means. Basically, your armor class is 16 plus whatever ranks your pilot has in piloting, which most of your two main pilots have either 9 or 10. And besides the mod the ship gives you itself, so you get a +1 for that. Your weapons have changed.
Okay.
So I'm pulling this up while I'm looking at that. So you have, first of all, you have a light buster cannon in the front.
Light buster cannon.
So the buster
Is it-
cannon is unique in that it is made I don't want to go off memory here. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. All right, so it fires blasts of disruptive energy that devastate shields. A buster weapon deals the indicated damage to a starship shield. If the shields are reduced to 0, you split any remaining damage between the 2 adjacent quadrants shields. So if you hit them in the front shield and take it down and you still have 10 points of damage, it does 5 points of damage to the port and starboard shields as well. So the buster weapon is
Really?
made to destroy shields. Also, during that, if you hit somebody with this weapon during their engineering phase, whether or not their shields were depleted, the DC of diverting power to their shields increases by 5. So it makes it that much harder to fix shields when they're hit by a buster weapon.
Wow.
You know about the plasma cannon, the particle beam, and a flak thrower, but you'll see you have one last weapon there.
So you say.
So I'm going to share this with you guys. So you have a light teleportation beam. What this thing does, besides doing damage, you can choose the gunner when he fires it, chooses whether to deal damage as well as how to teleport the targeted ship. So the gunner can move the targeted starship a distance in hexes, so basically it's 1. So you'll be able to move, you hit this guy, in addition to doing damage, you then move him 1 hex. Or, if you are within 5 hexes of each other, you can swap places with that ship.
Meaning that, like, if they're pointed one way and all of a sudden we switch them around, they have their defenses on the other side, then we've got an advantage on that.
Correct. Now how you're facing doesn't change when you teleport. Whether you're teleporting him to 1 hex or whether you switch places, both of you are
Right.
still facing the same way. But yes, so there's lots of different tricks and lots of different ways you can use this. You cannot use you cannot use this against massive targets like planets or immense objects, depending on, that's to my discretion. But that is as it cannot be one size category larger than yourself. Also, so you have a medium ship. So if it's a huge or massive, or I don't know, I don't remember off the top of my head the categories of the starships, but it's got to be large or smaller ship to use a teleportation beam on. But even if you can't teleport it, you still do 1d20 worth of damage. All right, and the last thing with your Mariko Nash is you have a ghost drive.
Oh, the ghost drive. Go ahead, we're waiting.
So the ghost drive has a couple different effects during combat. Your speed is, if you turn on your ghost drive, it basically turns your Yeah, there's a computer check for the science officer to make it. If he activates it and is successful, the vessel becomes insubstantial.
Really?
So a couple different things happen. One, your speed is too lower and it takes longer to turn. You can move through hexes containing enemy starships, but for free. And but you also can't make attacks against them either. Um, I'm talking about the opportunity attacks that you would normally get when you go through the people's hexes.
Right.
So, but that is a thing now. So you can turn your ship and make it like a ghost where it can phase through people and through things.
Wow.
That's what the ghost drive does.
Which is awesome.
Exactly.
All right.
Yes.
So any questions? And of course, you still have your crew quarters, your good crew quarters, your escape pods, your recreation suite, basically your holodeck, and your cargo and a half, basically, is what you have. Any questions on the Mariko Nash?
What's the cargo in half again?
You have two
It's in
cargo bays,
null
one on each
space.
side, but they have your med bay in one of them, so it takes up some of the room in the cargo bay. You guys have never used it
Now,
for extensive use, so it doesn't really matter.
do we have a null space cargo room?
You do not. They do exist, but you do not have it.
Ha! All right, and then do we still have our little secret compartment thing?
We should have.
Your
I don't think we
smugglers,
voted to
yes,
use
you
it.
do have your
Yes.
smugglers compartments.
And what were the characteristics of that again?
Oh. Cargo holds hidden behind the false bulkheads and are shielded from most scanning, allowing a starship equipped with them to haul illegal goods without detection. Woo woo.
Well, we're good people, so we don't haul anything that's even remotely
A smuggler
evil.
compartment can contain 10 tons of goods, with no item being larger than medium. A creature on the starship must succeed at a DC 20 perception check to detect a basic smuggler compartment on the starship. A creature scanning the starship must succeed at a DC 20 computers check to detect one.
That's cool. So if we have anything of real value and we have to leave the ship, we can just put it there and we're okay. For the most
Correct.
part.
Correct.
And you also have George and Steve
Good old Georgia.
to help protect the ship.
George and Todd.
Jorge.
Todd, okay?
George
Todd.
and George,
Sorry. All right.
you need to make that correction in your notes.
I have him listed on the he's listed in Fievel's companions. I just didn't look at it.
For shame.
Todd and George are their names.
Where is it?
Yep, they're on his allies in his allies page.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
All right. So, any last questions on either of the ships?
Oh, I'll figure it out when
Now,
I
now we
need
want
to.
you to try your ship now.
Okay. Yeah, they only will come into play if there's the specifics will only come into play if there's an actual starship battle. You guys are cruising through the drift right now, so who knows? It may not even happen. We'll see. And I did want to talk a little bit about downtime.
No, not the downtime. Not the downtime.
So I shared these two things. One is the article about it. There's a lot of information in that downtime article. So I used this note. The note is there available, so you don't have to make your own note. It's there. And the note has the little piezo says reference manual downtime. So that you can open this up and read these anytime. What you want to do is you want to skim down to, for example, if you go scroll down to where it says carouse, for example.
Carouse.
As you look at each activity you can do during your downtime, just look at the results first and see what it does for you. And then if it's something that you're interested in and you think the results might be worth it, then you can read on how you do that and what it takes to do it. So in the downtime note I gave you, I said check out these: carouse, drill, entertain, etc. Because, for example, build shelter. If you're stuck on a planet somewhere, yeah, you could use your downtime to do that. Cruising through the drift on a ship, unless you want to build a pillow fort, you really don't need to build a shelter on your ship. So it's
Hey, we
not.
have the blankets. We got the clothesline. We're good to go, man.
That's right. Same thing with analyze sample. Although I skipped over that one because you did have a biohacker at the time. You don't have a biohacker anymore. But basically, that is, most of them are pretty self-explanatory. Building a shelter, you know what that is. Analyzing a sample is analyzing a sample of something. So if you, for whatever reason, you pick up something you aren't able to understand at the time, with your skill checks, your life science, physical science, you can bring it back to your ship, spend a day studying this thing to get a really good understanding of what it is. That type of thing. So like I said, drill, entertain, lounge, maintain equipment, maintain readiness, all these different ones that I have listed in the downtime. Take a look at those, because anytime you're traveling through the drift, you have days of downtime that you can do, like you just had a week. So
So instead of asking us, hey, what are you guys doing during this time? We can look at this list and say, hey, let's do lounge.
exactly, you can work out, you can retrain. That is one thing I wanted to mention: retrain. If for whatever reason you don't like how your skills points are set up, and you can be a cheater face and just change them, which you're not supposed to do. Or if you want to take one from your culture and add it to stealth or vice versa, you can retrain during, you spend a day retraining, and
Oh, shit.
that will allow you to do those type of things. You can also switch your feats. If you don't like a feat, you've never used it, you can pick a new feat by using the retrain downtime activity and pick a new feat, and get rid of an old one. Those type of things. But there's also stuff like manage course, which Roberta mentioned earlier for Zerail, that allows you to make your trip faster. So instead of taking 17 days, it would only, I think it reduces it by like 10% or a day. I forget what it is, but it makes your journey faster. Things like that. Maintaining equipment boosts your equipment. If you carouse, it gives you 2 resolve points because you guys are level 10. 2 extra resolve points for the next day. Things like that. So check it out.
And I do have to, successfully pass some checks to do that. If I fail, then it makes the trip longer, but not any longer than the minimum would have been.
Right. And you have to fail pretty spectacularly in order for that negative to affect.
But
All right. And then, of course, there's also convalesce, which if you're sick or dying, you can spend time not dying and it will help you. Okay. Any last questions before we get rolling? We talked about what happened last time. Reno, was there anything you wanted to add about Serena or Zerail's interaction with the princess and her ship?
No, I'm not even sure I was here last time. I wasn't here last time. So that was all news to me. and I only heard the latter half of it because volume wasn't working.
Ah, okay. So, Roberta, you want to explain what happened with this
So you have to go over it
drifting
again. It took
ship?
you like 10 minutes to go through that. Go ahead. I will be quiet now.
The long and short of it is we came across a ship that was distressed. It had gone
Right.
through something in the drift where this grackle came on and kind of destroyed a lot of stuff and killed a few people. We rescued them and their ship, healed them, and then she turned out to be a princess of, oh, where is that? I put it in my notes. But anytime we visit her planet, she said she'll hook us up basically and um, be kind to us and generous should we ever come across her
Nice.
planet because she'll
Nice.
remember it. So we have a princess in our pocket.
Awesome. She Elvin? Something like that. Cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there when we first got there with this first call, but I didn't listen to it. Cool. Very cool. So is her planet anywhere near where we ever go, or is this like a vacation planet?
She's in the Pact World. So when you guys go back to Absalom Station, she's in that system.
Cool. Nice. We should think about vacation there. See what be going on with the higher ups, the noble.
Sure. As soon as we catch these idiots.
They only allow us so much vacation per year, so I think we took up our most of our vacation the last time we were over at that sports place.
That wasn't even really a vacation. What the hell are you talking about?
We were there for a while. There was vacation with saunas and
Right.
the whole
And
thing, tanning
I
booths
know,
and
it's not my favorite sports team.
recreational.
Yeah.
Playing some serious whatever that game was called, something ball.
Right.
That was cool stuff. Anyway, that was a cool campaign, though. DM.
Thank you. Now, just the first part. There's at least 2 more, if not 3 other, if not 4 other chapters. I forget. But you guys decided to save the universe instead.
Lo and behold, here we are.
All right, so you guys watch as the princess's ship flies away, and what would you guys? I know you guys have had a whole 2 minutes to look at this downtime stuff. Is there anything there that you would like to do to pass the time? Since Roberta, since you have looked at it already, I'll let you go first.
So I'm going to do some research, a little bit of research on where we're going with like my mysticism and whatnot because of the, paranormal activities and stuff. I want to check out anything that might be like on the dark side of things, not necessarily in the fabulous public eye, but just researching to see if anybody has posted or said anything about anything mysteriously supernatural where we're going.
All right, so research. Let me get the stream caught up. You throw yourself into dedicated study of a single topic, diving into data sets or the local infosphere to learn as much as you can. So you have a couple different options as to what you can research. You're heading to the Gate of the 12 Suns, so you can research the technology behind the Gate of the 12 Suns. You can research either of the 2 races, the Kish. I forget the name of the other race. You also know that the Bone Fleet and the Cult of the Devourer are also involved in this type of things. So those are other topics you can research. What this
Let
will
me go
do.
with the research of the Cult of the Devourer, because that's kind of where we're leaning toward following them.
All right. Are you trained? You are trained in culture, correct?
Let me see. What am I trained in?
Serena has a devourer's unholy symbol for some reason or
Yes,
another.
I am trained in culture. I have an unholy symbol as well.
All right. So
Mm-hmm.
so you can do that, and what that will do is it will reduce any DC of any culture checks you make regarding the Cult of the Devourer. And again,
Okay.
this is similar to a profession check. If I say anything and you can figure out some way to link it to that topic, it will count. So don't be afraid to abuse it and use it. This is what you're doing. So in
Okay.
order to do that, it says you spend the day studying to gain working knowledge of a single specific topic. Regardless of the topic, you must have access to an InfoSphere downloaded dataset, which you do. You can't choose a topic that overlaps with your theme's first level theme knowledge. So in your case, it does not. You are
Okay.
a paranormal investigator, so this does not have to do with the thing. So let's go ahead and add this to. So if you want to make a note, you can on your notes page or physical copy or something. You have +2 to checks on against the Cult of the Devourer. And actually, what I'll do is I'll just add it to your comment tracker. All right. So while I'm getting Surreal set up, Bobby, have you had a chance to look at those? Is there anything that you wanted to do?
My computer's. I haven't really been able to look at them. Everything's running really slow on my computer.
All right. So if you'd like, you can work out what that, and on a success once per day for the following week, you can re-roll a failed acrobatics check or athletics check. You could there's one that allows
What does maintain a
here it is. Manage course. You can reduce your total travel time by 6 hours for every day that you do that. And then you can maintain your equipment. What happens with that is if the first time you pick a weapon, a specific weapon, and then the first time you score a critical hit with that, it deals an additional amount of damage equal to half its level. Or you can do it with your armor, and the first time somebody critically hits you, it reduces the damage you take by half the armor's level.
Do I really need that though?
You can also lounge, which gives you temporary hit points for the following day, or you can carouse, which gives you 2 extra resolve points the following day.
Carouse. Go carousing.
But you have to do the walk of shame the next day. Sorry, it had to be said.
Or you can do a drill where you use your holovid training materials running through a computer simulation, repeating the key motion over and over and over until it becomes a muscle memory. And what this does, it's a check. You don't get it for free. You have to attempt it. But the first time, the next day you attempt that either it's a crew action or a skill check, you can take 10, even because normally you have to take a long time to take 10. This one allows you to do it immediately. Either
I like the sound of a weapon doing more damage. So
okay. Cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool. So that is maintain your equipment. There is no check for that, so it is automatic. So which weapon would you like to have to maintain?
what do I got? I got. Let me look at my character sheet if I can. I'm doing
All right, so
quote.
pulling up your character sheets, you've got your coil
I got.
rifle, your
That's the sniper rifle.
and your sky sword are the two main weapons that you have.
Let's go with the rifle.
While you're there, may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
The practice profession one, so you can earn credits, as in money, towards something just by practicing your profession chosen field.
Right. So if you're in a right now you're traveling through the drift, so you can't do that. But if you're in the packed world and you're traveling in within inner space, or if you're on a planet, you can do whatever your profession is. So if you're like a vid gamer, you could stream your games and earn money that way. If you're a scientist, you can work at a hospital. If you're a researcher, you can work at a lab. Whatever your profession is, you can do those and you gain that money.
Okay. So kind of like you're a contractor doing a little bounty hunting on the side.
Yep, whatever your profession is. And although I don't know that you guys even have professions, I've been trying to push you guys to get professions, but
You're saying we're not professional? What's this about?
it will be in your skills, and it should say profession. Let's see. Yeah, so he is a racer. So for example, Vival is races land vehicles. So if he's somewhere on a planet that has races, which most planets do, he could use that. He can also, he hasn't put any ranks in it, but if he puts a rank or more in that skill, then anytime he's dealing with any kind of land vehicle, he could use that profession to boost his check with whatever he's doing.
Tell what
Professions
mine is.
I'll remember that when we level up.
professions can be like you said, if you say you're a doc, trying to pull it up. You can stretch it if you can figure out any possible way that, oh, hey, my profession might work this, then I'll usually give it to you. So Zarael is an investigator, so she could anytime that she has anything that has to do with what an investigator might do, a paranormal investigator might do, if she can finagle it and convince me, hey, this opening this door is what a paranormal investigator does, because if they don't open the doors, they can't go in anywhere to investigate. Then I'll say, you're right. Add your profession bonus to that type of thing. So
So
anyway,
like the practice profession is saying that the best benefit lasts 1 week. So is that in the general sense most of these downtime things well they have a duration, in other words, some of them.
right. So you have a
Others will
couple
be
different
permanent.
things that you can do. There's 3 of them. You can build your brand and network. You can create and refine your process and tools, or you can adapt to local customs and demand. In this particular case, you guys are cruising through the drift. heading to Cult of the Devourer and the Gate of the 12 Sons. Who knows if you're even going to survive? So, but there's not really a way to practice any profession, pretty much. Maybe create and refine processes and tools, depending on what your profession is. So, like if Zure wanted to find a better ghost detector, she might be able to tweak that and tweak her equipment in that way. But my point is, in this case, it's not really going to help you. I don't see,
Right.
unless you can convince me of a way it would. Off the top of my head, I don't see how this is going to benefit you guys.
Extra money. That's how it benefits us.
Yeah, but you can't make it while you're cruising through the drift, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Correct. We might have downtime on a planet or a station. We never know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something to keep in mind. Yep.
Question.
Yep.
Does downtime also apply to Ara?
No. Now you can spend your downtime training with her to do things like the skills or those, maintain readiness, maintain equipment. She cannot do downtime on her own, is what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's what I wanted to know.
Maybe entertain.
Look at that. Now I have another one I can add to my list. Woohoo.
Maybe entertain with her. Have her put on a little top hat and do a little dance. Put little tap shoes on it.
No, she's too good for that.
She's hot, so I don't see why.
She's a badass.
That's true.
All right. So let me add 5 of those on there. Nosy and Serena, do you guys find something you were interested in?
A little tiny knife.
Yeah. Yes, actually. For Serena, she wants to do. I thought I saw it. I'm not sure what it's called, but she has her plasma ribbon. She would really like to get proficient at that, to where she's not going to cut off an arm or somebody else's arm with it, and maybe increase its proficiency for her, make it more of a possible distance weapon, yet controllable. Not distance, but I meant.
So you have mentioned that before, so I will go ahead and say that you've been doing that. You've had almost a week now within the drift, so I would say you are proficient with it at this point. So you would not have any kind of negatives using the battle ribbon now. It's a very different style of fighting than what she normally does with her sword.
Right, but all of her other activities. Yeah, other activities. But that's what she's about. She's just.
But with her acrobatics, especially, it really flows, makes it really easy. So that's an easy transition. Like if Zarael or Fievel tried to do it, it would take much longer because they're not the acrobat you are. They're not trained like you are. So.
Okay. And then I think Nosy would like to do the analyze sample thing, maybe. I thought I was looking through inventory. There's a couple things on both Serena and Nosy that there's unidentified, maybe, or maybe she could also look through whoever else has got stuff and their stuff is unidentified. Maybe try identifying some of it. See if I can give an example here.
Deck bug.
Yeah, I think at the bottom right there or something. Okay, at the bottom of Serena's thing, she's got an unidentified thing. She's got let's see, no, she's got a magic circlet. Maybe. What else was there? I saw something that says unknown. Anyway, so it was picking up, go through everybody's little stuff they got in their bags, and then let's see if she can identify it. It's not like it's a major archaeological thing, but like at the bottom, Serena, she got an unidentified. What? Huh? Yeah. So she'll take up all the little things it was got, go in there and see if she can do some research on it. but it's not inline samples. I have the wrong name, but it's you know what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And can you drag that into the chat? The two objects you were talking about?
Okay.
Go to
Like I said, I'm just
object.
using those as examples. I'm not really. All right, let's find an object. So I drag it from the piezo symbol. Our
Correct.
little ribbon. I can't get it that far. My mouse is fucked. That work? That work? All right, there's one. I
Okay,
think.
so this one, that's right. You guys found this on the skyscraper. So this is, I ID it for you, as a ring of cosmic alignment.
Ooh.
And if you think about it, this ring I mentioned is two bands of mithril and adamantine, sort of wrapping around each other. This is specifically for Solarians.
Okay.
So if you have the stellar mode class feature, which Solarian does, whenever you start a turn of combat attuned to a stellar mode and choose to become unattuned, you can immediately gain 1 point for the opposite mode for your turn. For instance, if you begin a turn in photon mode and choose to become unattuned, you can use the ring to gain 1 graviton attunement point immediately
Okay.
as a swift action. Normally what you do is you have to stop the next turn, you then gain 1 point and 1 point and 1 point. So it basically saves you a whole round of attuning
Right.
if you decide to
Okay.
switch in the middle.
Okay.
So that is the Ring of Cosmic Attunement. So it's basically only usable by Serena.
Right, which is why she has it. And then what is the? Can you explain the imprisonment class capture pole?
Again, can you drop it into the chat?
Really? Hold on a minute. That work?
Token. Facing indicators on. Okay, capture pole. Yes, so this should be a man catcher. Basically what this does, yeah, so it's a big long stick that has, like, you know those little hands, that little things you can buy that have a trigger on one end and they're a stick, and they have these
Yep.
little grabby things, so if you're in a wheelchair, you can reach over and pick something up off the floor with it. It's a much bigger version of that. So it's like a 8-foot long pole with these big robotic head that snaps shut when you press a button. And what it does is it locks around a creature's neck. So you either sneak up on them, or during a fight you try to finagle it and get it close to their neck, and then you press the button and now you've got this you've got this person on the end of the stick that you by the neck. It's also, each of them have syringes that will pierce through their armor. So you can put sedatives in it, for example. So as you snatch them around the neck, it then injects them with a sedative. So in theory, they then are easier to control. The whole thing is there for, it's like jailers or security people have these type of things too.
Right.
And that's what that does.
So in other words, if you don't have the needler thing on there, you're just basically traveling around with just one tooth, trying to hold it
That's right.
still.
Exactly. Yep. And it can be used pretty much anything that has a neck. So, it could be a creature, like a dog, or those type of, it doesn't have to be a humanoid. And it is also worth $36,300 too. So,
Wow. It's because
a
it's
level
imprisonment
12.
class.
It's a level 12 item. So.
That's right. That's right. It's imprisonment class. Da, 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 da.
All right, so the circlet is a psychic booster.
I already have a psychic booster. Or I have two of them then, right? If that's the case. A separate item.
It does destroy your hair.
It does destroy your hair.
Over the first few weeks of the ownership, the owner's hair turns progressively gray. After a month, it begins to fall out.
Yikes.
What the hell? Who would want that?
Well, Lashunta
That's
don't
what
have
it is.
hair, so it doesn't. They don't care.
Okay.
But it fits over your brow and wraps around your antenna if you have any. It augments the power of your psychic abilities. If you have telepathy, the range of your telepathy doubles.
Wow. So in other words, you wear it and it just stays there. You do your thing.
Right, it's a little circlet,
Okay.
like a little tiara, but just metal. Just a band of metal, or it fits around your head.
And I think the only other thing I'm seeing until we go through other people's stuff would be I need to put some stuff in my gems. I've got two gems that are filled, but I still have one gem that's not, and one ampule. Oh, wait a minute. There's ampule. Never mind. That does have something. I have one gem that does not have anything, so I definitely want to put something there, if possible. That's
You
it.
can also change any of the spell gems you guys have. So if you don't like what's in it, say you just have a healing spell of first level, and you want to upgrade that to a 4th level healing spell, you can. So if you guys want to take a look at your spell gems, you can fix those as well. Alrighty, so that will bring us to the next day. So as a reminder, as you guys are cruising through the drift, you've seen all manner of things, from a throne the size of an asteroid to these chunks of a city where some of the buildings are cut in half, because every time you enter or exit the drift, there is a percentage chance that some part of reality, one of the 4 planes, is pulled into the drift. And that's like the drift rock was pulled into the drift, and then the ship found it and towed it back, and that's what started this whole mess. So you've been seeing all these type of weird objects, weird places, weird things. You have heard rumors of a city, of one single place that's isn't affected by that, that's within the drift, but you're still not sure if that's a fact. And so go ahead and everybody give me a percentile. So are you all awake at the same time, and then all going to sleep at the same time, letting the ship do autopilot? Are you taking shifts of 2? How are you breaking up your shifts? And who's on the bridge at any given time? The ship is perfectly safe to be on its own as long as there's one person on the bridge, or even not on the bridge, because it's going where it's going to go. There are alarms set to where if something dangerous starts to happen, you will be alerted. So it's really up to you guys how you want to do it.
Okay.
So there's 4 of you, four of you, Todd and George. Although George is pretty much not, doesn't really count, so forget George. Steve is intelligent enough to monitor the computers and stuff and watch the bridge if you want. So there's 5 of you. So how do you want to divide it up?
I'll take first watch.
So is it going to be 12-hour shift, 8-hour shift? Going to change every 15 minutes?
15
10
minutes
hours.
sounds good to me.
Like 8 or 10 hours.
So 10 hours is minimum, I think. Either 10 or 12. I
We have
think.
24 hours days, so 8 or 12 would be easier. But then again, it
Why?
doesn't really matter.
12.
Fine.
Let's do
12.
12.
All right, so are you going to have two people, the same two people for the 12, or are you going to intersperse it to where Zariel starts at midnight and then at 4 o'clock, Fievel comes on. She leaves at noon and Nosi comes on.
If you had
And
12-hour shifts, then that's perfect.
Yeah, let's do that.
all right, so every
Tell John to be quiet, man.
4 hours, you're going to go with starting with Zariel at midnight till noon, who comes on at 3.
3? What? Why would somebody be on at 3?
Oh,
If they're
6.
12
Yeah,
hour shifts, maybe 6?
yeah, 6 o'clock. So who comes
Okay.
on at 6?
We have 6 people, right? We don't
5.
trust the.
Well, you have 4 people plus if you want to count Todd.
Yeah, Todd isn't always there,
So you have
right?
4
So
people.
yeah, perfect. So once for 12 hours, once every 2 days, you do your shift. Just pick them randomly. Who cares?
I
There's no.
care because when crap happens, I want to know who's on watch.
I'm saying is just just pick.
Right?
I don't see there being any advantage or disadvantage. Just pick. Okay, well, let's stand after this person, and then this person after this person. I mean, am I missing something? Is there some other advantage, or otherwise, can we just say, hey, let's roll the dice and
I
being
think
safe?
what he's thinking is that that way there's 2 people at a time. And the 12-hour shifts are overlapping by 6 hours.
All right, so
Does that make
Fievel,
sense?
do you have a preference
6
of who you
hours.
want to be with or what time you want to be up on duty?
He said duty.
Oh.
All right, so if Serena and them don't care, then I'm just going to do 2.
The only advantage I can see would be to
4.
go through your piloting and what you are and see which ones maybe not have 2 pilots on at the same time and then have no pilots at the same time. So that's the only way I can see to maybe think about what you want to do as versus just picking it. Everybody get all that?
Yes, that makes sense. All right, so Zariel will come on at midnight, then followed by Serena will come on at 6 a.m. So the 2 of them are together until noon when Zariel leaves and Fievel comes on. At 6 p.m., Serena leaves and Nosi comes on. And then at midnight,
So it's no C and 5 now. So
right, and then Fievel will leave and Zariel, it'll be Nosi and Zariel for 6 hours.
it sounds cool. A little companionship. You got two possible things covered in the emergency. We also have alarm clocks and tele thingies. Those Rocky Talkies, That sounds good. Good idea, Zariel.
Alrighty.
All right, so I just need to do one on a roll here. Give me a second. All right, so it's the next day. It's the 8th of Sarenth. It's been about 24 hours, just over 24 hours since you left the princess. And it is My God, dang, I just closed the wrong one. It is 1400.
It's just 2 o'clock. Nap time.
Right,
Siesta.
I'm already sleeping.
Siesta. Isn't it? I think it's officially siesta in Mexico at 2:30.
Dash E
Everybody's taking a nap.
D
Businesses are closed.
60.
The streetwalkers come out for an hour. I'll be quiet now. Sorry.
56. So it's actually going to be 256.
That's the time. 2:56.
2:56 p.m. Which means it is. Let me pull back up my party sheet. Here it is. So it is Fievel and Serena on board.
Cool.
So I need.
I nailed it, and I didn't even have my microphone on.
So if you guys have not, and I can tell you right now, ships. You have not. All right, so I need you all to assign yourself a position on the ship. So go to open up your character sheet. And go to the
So,
ship tab,
Okay.
and then there'll be on the right, it'll say actions, and next to that it says role, R-O-L-E, and a little down arrow. Click the down arrow and pick one.
passenger.
Right now, 3 of you are passengers, yes.
It says Serena assigned as captain right now.
Correct.
So it means
So
that
if you want to be a captain, that's fine. Fievel, you need to pick one as well. Are you still with us? Oh, you're muted, Bobby. So if you've been talking, we haven't been able to hear you.
Zerail.
I said I'll be the pilot.
All right. Is your computer working? Are you able to open up your character sheet?
It's the cursor's just a little hand and it's pulling stuff all over the screen.
Passenger pilot. All right. So
You said we don't have to have a pilot, do we? Or a captain? I can't have a captain.
I can pilot
if
we need to.
you don't have to have
anything.
anything.
We're all passengers. Put it on automate. Chill out.
But you can't do certain things, like you can't scan if you don't have if you're not a science officer, stuff like that.
Okay, so we only have 4 people. I think maybe no, she can be either the magic officer or what was that one you said about scanning engineer?
Science officer is the one who scans.
Science officer. I didn't see it. There it is. Okay, so yeah, the science officer, but she likes magic, so. And then Serena will be the gunner in charge of weapons for now.
All right, so as I mentioned, it is you guys are cruising along. You're in sort of almost like a violet area. The clouds and things are giving off sort of a violet lavender haze as you're cruising along. You're coming close to like this large planetoid type thing, although it as you do a quick scan, you realize it's not organic. It looks like it was made by something, but doesn't seem to have any purpose. It looks like a sphere of some kind. That's been charred and dinged and banged up as it's been traveling through space. And out from around behind it, you see this large creature. Go ahead and give me life science for either one of you who are trained in it.
No, she.
I don't think I am.
No,
I
she is.
am.
Let's see.
Just the two who are on
Life science.
the
Oh, on the bridge.
On the
Never
bridge.
mind.
So
Disregard mine.
who's that again? It's Serena and
Serena and
Bible?
Bible.
Yeah,
yes, Serena and Bible.
Okay, Serena's definitely in life sciences here. Under L. Yeah, she's got a plus 12. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Correct.
Nice.
Critical.
All right, so you know
Everything.
what this thing is called.
Everything.
You know this thing is called a nova spawn. It looks to be about 3 times the size of your ship.
Wow.
Oh, isn't it pretty?
Our ship is pretty big too. Right? I mean, it's bigger than like the Millennium Falcon by at least twice, right?
Yes, it is. If you remember from, let me see where I hit it.
Spaceballs.
Here it is.
Spaceballs.
So 1 square is 5 feet. Does this have a grid on it?
Yes, it does.
So it's about 85 to 100 feet long.
So that thing is about 300 feet long.
Your ship is, yes.
150 feet long. Wow.
Our ship is 300 feet long?
No, that thing is about 300 feet long.
Okay. That's the size of a football field. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So you know that these things are here. Let me see if I can cut.
If it's only 100 feet long, then it's not even bigger than the Falcon. The Falcon's bigger than that.
250.
So the Nova Spawn are rare, enormous creatures made of silicon and steel-like flesh that live in space. They feed off cosmic radiation. Not a whole lot beyond that is known about them. No one really knows where they started, how long they live, why or how they travel. There are hints that when it dies, it becomes a new star, taking all the radiation that is absorbed throughout its life and becoming a new star. This phenomenon is called solar parturition, which is one of the reasons why you know about it as a Solarian, because it has to do with the solar particles.
Right.
No currently living mortal has ever seen it happen, though.
Because you'd be blind and dead.
Correct.
Not necessarily in that order.
You do know
that
they are generally peaceful. However, they do react sometimes in ways that people don't understand. So it's basically, if you think of it like a whale, it basically acts sort of like a whale. They're not really understood as well as they should be. You do know, I said with that roll, that they can destroy starships if it gets close enough. They can use some of the energy that they've absorbed and they shoot things similar to laser cannons. And if it gets close enough, it will use those tentacles on the front of it to grab a ship, and then they can then blast the crap out of it from while it's holding on to the ship. So
like grappling, like with a man of war.
Yeah, let's not get too close to that thing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Do I know what any weaknesses?
It is considered just like the space whale that you fought in the other campaign, and that meteorite-looking tetracite thing that you fought, and other things. This is similar to a ship, so it has it acts like a ship, or it has shielding, has something similar to a power core, which is its heart. It has armor, defenses,
Okay, so we're not like
things like that.
out in the dark without a zoologist. Okay.
So it does not have any particular weaknesses or strengths that you know of, immunities or things like that. You just would have to blast it if it comes to that. So let's go ahead and give me. So it's 5-0. So 5-0 is there. Go ahead and give 5-0. Go ahead and give me a piloting check to see your initiative. Drink. Nope.
Piloting? Come on, there it goes. Piloting. 20. Okay, hold on. What is with the? It's just pulling the number 56 around with it.
Interesting. Okay. Let me see.
Hold on. I think I got it.
All right, those of you watching, hey, Mantha. Mantha is here.
Manta!
Actually, just right now, she just came on board, so welcome, Mantha. We're just about ready to start
34.
possible starship combat, depending on what they do with this thing.
Hopefully steering clear of it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm
Since
the
we know
pilot.
what it is, we know what it can
Was
do.
I
Hopefully,
told what it was? I told what it was.
Was he?
Was I told what it? And that
I'm asking
I don't know.
Serena.
Did Serena
Yes,
tell you?
yes, of course. She tells everything. She says everything that you just said.
okay. This
Plus,
is
she says the weaknesses and what side it's on. Can we
I'm gonna, as the pilot, I'm gonna avoid it.
All right,
There's no
so
sense
in this particular case, you guys did, if you want to, you can open up the ship combat tracker. It's in the same area as the normal combat tracker. It just looks like a little ship, surprisingly enough.
Really? Huh.
And because the Nova spawn rolled a 20, which is the best it can do for its piloting, for its initiative, it goes first. It's going to move.
I thought the best one was to move second.
Correct. So that's why you got a 34.
Got 200. Oh, never mind. All right.
That's your whole. That's the whole points you have.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and here it is. Roll setup. Engineering. It's doing something.
So Serena's gonna ask Fievel, "Hey, do you think our flak will do any damage or divert its attention?" My thought is that you could take your sports car there and go out and flak it, and then when it's distracted.
Get eaten by it.
Get just because it's moving first doesn't mean squat.
I forgot that it would help if you guys could see what's going on. So here's the grid. Wow, Why does it have lighting on? Let me turn it off.
Okay. I gotta just let it come up.
There it is. There we go. All right.
There we go. Now,
Hey, come on.
we should be
It's
able
so
to
far away
avoid
from
that.
us right now.
We have to find where it is. It's a secret.
Samantha's
part of
actually
the-
been here the whole time. So
Samantha!
she heard all the things we were talking about her. But she said it's been a while since the command was done, so she typed. This is the first time she actually typed something, so she was lurking, earning those points so she can heal her party members. Since her cleric, she's the only cleric in the group, rarely heals people. She does it more in chat. She does it more in chat than she does with her cleric. Anyway, you have to have points to do that, so there we go. All right, so here's the map. Boom. All right, so like I said, it's sort of coming around this thing. With the drift, it's weird. You didn't really think about, it being out of place because everything is out of place in this location. So it moves first. Again, you move one hex at a time, please. Even if you're going in a straight line. And there is facing. It's not very big right now, but there is a little yellow arrow on both your
Facing left.
tokens pointing where you're going. So if you want to, you have to move one hex at least before you can turn.
Mhm.
All right, so it moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what happened was when it came up over things, it sees you and came straight towards you. Serena, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yep.
I'm not going to, sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. If you ever want me to push a roll for it to you, I can. So I'm not going to ask you every time. But if I don't push it to you and you want it pushed, let me know. I can do that for you. All right, so with your 24,
You gotta have bonuses, right?
all right.
It's not quite as embarrassing.
There you go. Okay, so got all these windows open. Let me close this. Okay. All right, so it zooms up. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. That was the engineering phase. It tried something. You have no way of knowing, but it failed. You guys don't have an engineer right now. So it is now the helm phase. I will say in the helm phase, as 5 was moving, if you want to do any kind of alerting the other crew members, you can, that type of thing, while 5 is flying the ship. And what is your role right now, Serena?
24.
No, what is your ROLE? What are you on the ship?
Oh, gunner. She was a gunner.
You're a gunner, okay. Perfect. So 5, it is now your role, your move. Now that you know where it's going, it's heading straight towards you. Like I said, these things Serena told you, they're not aggressive, and this thing is definitely acting aggressive.
Just
Indeed.
get out of its way.
Oh, this damn computer.
So have you seen the map at least?
Yeah, I can see
Okay.
the map.
All right, so your speed is 10. You don't have to go the full 10 hexes if you don't want to, but you can go up to 10. Your maneuverability in this medium ship is excellent, so you can move. You can turn one hex facing every hex you move into if you want. So obviously you have to go forward 1, and then what else would you like to do?
Go forward 10.
Well, I'm gonna go forward, turn to the right,
Okay.
No.
and
Facing toward it.
uh,
No.
no, I'm gonna.
Oh my God.
Okay, there's a
Why
line
can't I go on the bridge?
between us. I'm gonna go. I'm going.
You're asleep. Hush.
I'm trying to
I
go
know.
around it.
Okay. Serena woke her up though with her announcement of our little.
Okay.
Go
so-
forward 1 hex,
Okay.
down 1, and then go the rest of the way.
All right. So right now you're facing
There, which way? I can't tell
to
which way.
the northeast.
Okay. Okay. So then, let me see if
Trying
I
to
can
see.
zoom in a little bit on
Trying to
this.
see if it'll let me move the ship, and it doesn't look like it will.
So we're facing up towards the left hand corner
So
of
if
the.
straight up is noon or 12, you're facing 2
You're like
o'clock right
1.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well then, let's.
Diana.
So you have to go one
Got it.
space that way, and then you can turn 1 click either direction.
Okay. So how about we just go our. I'm trying to avoid this thing, so go. Oh, you said 2 o'clock, so that would be like. Right. Oh,
Yes.
Okay. So after you get into that square,
yes.
where are you going to go now?
Keep going straight. It's
For how many hexes?
the full amount.
Okay, so you're just going to go straight up that way. That's fine.
I'm just trying to avoid the. So it doesn't mistake us for food.
I think it already has.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Oh, I'd like to give Serena a call now. See on the line. Hey, girlfriend.
So
She's gonna see if she can add anything up to this information that we have. It's likely to be hostile. Should we go ahead and nail it? Is it
With
a
the roll
menace to
you made,
society?
Serena, this is part of Serena's studying because it has so much to do with solar power and things like that.
Okay.
And it's one of those freaks things that exist in the world. So Serena has studied this. She got
So she has everything.
cannot know more information than what she knows.
Right, but okay.
Now you can scan it and get some more details as far as the specifics of its hull and its shielding and things like that, damage it can do, stuff like that. But
I'm questioning Fievel's move to get away from it. So I'm asking Osi what her thoughts are. Whether we should change our minds, I'll try to convince him to do something different, or go ahead and as forward with his suggestion. That is my intent.
Okay.
Make sure we're doing the right thing.
So that finishes up the helm phase. So now we have the gunner phase. You guys are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're 10 hexes away from it.
Okay.
Which is medium range, or for your sensors and things like that. It also depends on the type of weapon that you have. So if I don't know if you remember, but the gunner phase happens at the same time.
Okay. So if our intention is to try to get away from it,
It is on the starboard side.
distract it.
You are facing its starboard side.
Didn't you say as long as we don't attack it, it won't? and keep our distance from it and not attack it,
That is what
that it'll leave us alone.
that is what Serena said. That is normally they are not normally aggressive creatures.
This one's acting aggressive though. Maybe it has some sort of leprosy or something with mange. It has mange.
I don't see how flying in our general direction is being aggressive, but
It's like it took off like a squid right towards us. Infinite amount of ways to go, and it went that way. Anyway, so if I'm following along with your what you're thinking, then I think we should try to flack it, and to distract it as we go by, so it doesn't attack us. It'll attack the our fire bombing missiles thing. That was my thought. Having said that, I will not be quiet. Anybody else have thoughts on this?
All right, and it does fire at you, but misses.
Because our excellent pilot and his piloting skills.
So it's the two of you on the bridge. Serena, are you going to fire back or are you passing?
I'm gonna fire back. No, I have to go to the ship.
Nope.
That
Go
first
to your character sheet.
character sheet, right? Oh, okay, ships. Oh, I see. Okay, got it. I had to reattach the
Click
gunner
the
thing.
actions. The little black bar under actions.
That was what I was missing. Come on. There we go. All right, very good. Okay, so I can do broadside, precise there.
Give me just a second. I have you targeting yourself, so let me fix that.
Let's not do that, please.
All right, so now I have
Okay.
the other ship
Okay.
targeted. So what
Go
you do is you
drone.
go down to the bottom. You have a turret which has the light particle beam, and it is on your starboard side as well, which has the teleportation beam.
Okay. I'm gonna switch places with it. What about deploying a drone?
So you don't have those.
You know, what if we make believe that, and then we say we do. And what happens?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
One of my things
How
is
would you
deploy a drone.
deploy a drone?
Again, to distract it. Again, he's trying to get around it, trying to bow to his wishes.
You have Fievel's ship, but his ship only has a speed of 6, which is the same as the creature. Your speed is 10.
yeah,
Okay.
which
Now-
means if I get too close to it in my ship, I'm not going to be able to get away from it.
Right, but are you in your ship?
No, I'm
Okay.
piloting
Why are
the.
we even, okay, then why are we even talking about your
I
ship?
see what you're talking about. Deploy drone. That is an action there. Okay, no, you don't have drones to deploy.
And what about, do we have mines to lay down?
You do not have mines either. No.
Okay, so
You have
my
those two
choices are
things. You
limited.
can shoot it with the particle beam, or you can shoot it with a teleportation beam.
Okay, I'll go with the particle beam.
All right, so you click the
3D8.
little button next to it.
Okay, yep, and I'll press the which
The shoot button.
the shoot button.
So on top, the attack. There's one that says shoot. Over to the
Oh,
right,
okay, all right, yeah,
click that
okay,
circle that says attack.
got it. Oh, I didn't choose who I wanted to attack. Funny. Is that how it does it? And how do you target it?
I have it targeted already, so it should be good.
I was.
So let's see. So you're clicking
okay.
the
I'll try it again. I'll do it
particle
again. Here we
beam.
go. did that, and I pressed shoot, and it didn't do anything. This is at the target. So
No attack
something
arc selected. Please choose the arc. Hold on. Oh, here it is. All right. There we go. All right, so you have to, where it says firing arc, you have to pick which arc you're shooting at.
Okay, I
So,
see. Forward to aft.
So now it's in starboard.
Right.
So again, click the little circle next to it to turn it.
I can click through them and see which one. But so which one am I picking?
You're shooting at the starboard side.
Starboard. Starboard. Now click it. See if that works. There we go. Bam. Yeah, there we go. Woohoo! 17.
All right, so that is a hit roll. Now just click down below, click the damage.
Nice. Good, not too bad. I'm happy with that.
All right, and as the DM, I apply the damage. So the starboard shield absorbed all 9 damage. All right, and that ends the gunnery phase. So now we're in roll setup. You guys have managed to make it to the bridge. If you want to scan it or do things like that, you want science officers. You can have more than one. So Mantha, your question is, how large is each hex on the grid? There is no determined size because you can have a gargantuan ship take up 1 hex, or you can have a planet take up 1 hex. It's really just a arbitrary distance. There is no determined distance on this map. Everything is pretty much the same size no matter where you are on the map. It's just a matter of how far away you are from each other. It's a strange amorphic dichotomy there. It's not really explained specifically. All right, so go ahead and put yourselves in the roles you want to be in. If you're just moving the ship straight, you don't have to have a pilot. The pilot, anybody can just, it's one of those minor actions to just move it straight. If you want to be a pilot, you can do stuff like evade, which increases your armor class by 2. Your engineer can boost your speed, possibly, if it makes the roll. So there's a couple different things you can do. Zerael, where do you? You're a magic officer. Okay, perfect. And don't forget, when it's talking about ranks, like some things you have to have 6 ranks in to do. It's not talking about your total. It's talking about the ranks you have in that, whatever that skill is. All right, so Nosi, have you picked a place?
I think so, yeah.
Science officer. Okay, perfect. All right, so science officer can go in either the engineering phase or the helm phase, and it's up to the science officer, up to you guys to determine who goes first.
Sorry.
Science officer or the pilot.
Back roll.
Because it depends on what the science officer is doing.
Well, what you want to do is do a scan type of thing. So whichever one accommodates that.
All right, and don't forget your ship gives you +3 3 times to 3 different checks. So for his piloting check, if he can get a +3, for your scan now, you can get a +3. For your gunnery attack, you can get a +3. You know, anytime you make any roll, you can get a +3. 3
for
times
one,
every
3
round.
times.
Yep.
And we spread it out wherever we want.
However you want. Yep. Whoever grabs it first. All right. So we're in the engineering phase. This thing is trying to do something again, and it failed miserably last time. 29. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see. All right. So that is enough to succeed. All right. We don't have any engineer. We have a science officer and a magic officer. Magic officer, I'm not as familiar with you. Do you know what you're doing this round? Under your actions?
I have. I would like to do precognition, but I don't even have any kind of a description on it because when I click on it, there's nothing about it under crew actions.
All right, give me a moment. Ships. Actions. Precognition. Oh, if you hover over the question mark, it says you attempt a mysticism check.
Okay.
On a
A
success, you
mysticism
gain the
check
pilot plus
grants the
2 to their
pilot
piloting.
a +2 circumstance bonus to their piloting check at the beginning of the helm phase to determine piloting order.
Yeah, so it's basically +2 to their
Okay. Hang on a
initiative,
second.
if that's what you want to do. I got a feeling.
No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to fire at it. So I'll do the +2, the precognition. There we go. There we go.
All right, so you had it was a DC of 25, which is exactly what you rolled. So you get a sense. I got a feeling that tonight this creature is going to turn towards you, and you get that gives Fievel +2 to his roll when he does his check. All right, science
Nice.
officer, what did you want to do?
I explained what I wanted to do. You have to tell me which one it is. She's going to scan. She's scanning.
All righty, so go ahead and
I do the scan part. I just press the scan
roll
one.
the button that says check. Are you going to use your +3?
Yes.
Okay, so you get a 26 total.
That's just not enough.
Give me just a second. It tells this is based on the higher the roll, the more you learn.
I could have done better, in other words. I get it.
Gunnery, attacking, crew actions. All right, here it is. So the DC is 5 plus 1.5 the tier of the starship ship being scanned and defensive countermeasures. So it has that. Its tier is that. So that's that 17. I'm
If that's
doing math.
20, that's great.
17,
Uh-oh.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Take off your shoes, dude.
All right, so you are able to learn basic information. For every 5 that you exceed the check, you learn another piece of information. You got just enough to learn 1. So it's living crew complement and the ship classification, size, speed, and maneuverability. So speed is 6, maneuverability is poor, which means it takes 3. It moves 3 and then it can turn. And what was the other thing? Size, speed, and maneuverability. The size is huge, and that's it. Okay. So that brings us
we could easily flank it.
to
Coming up here.
the helm phase. Now again, you guys do know that the speed is 6. Your speed is 10. So it's really up to you whether you, after, I mean, you could just keep going and you'll quickly outdistance it. Now that all of you are here, I'll go ahead and push everybody to roll all at once. Actually, no, I'll say your scan does it. So as you are scanning it, you do see that this thing is damaged and is it looks, for lack of a better word, emaciated. I mean, it doesn't look like the picture I gave you. It's sallow. It has gashes in it, and it looks like it's maybe half the girth of the one in the picture, where you can see the size of the tentacles and the antenna and the little spines coming off it and stuff. It should be much bigger. This thing is looking like it's malnourished, basically, like it's starving. All right, so pilot, give me the check. This time you get a +2.
Okay.
And this thing's going to roll its initiative.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep moving away from it. So.
Got to roll seagulls first. It rolled a 15. I don't think you can get lower than a 15.
I don't think you can either, not with a +22.
All right, so you would definitely go first. I mean, it will move first. You beat it out. Decide whether or not what you want to do on your. Yeah, even with a 1, you got a 23. Plus, did you add the bonus? No, you didn't add the bonus. And so you also you got a 25. So,
26.
So this thing is going to move. All right, so it moved and then it's going to turn again. All right, so it's now facing the same direction as you're facing. But like I said, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares away, 6 hexes away from you right now, and you guys haven't moved yet. So if you're just moving straight, are you going to do any other maneuvers? Like, let's see what the pilot does. I know you can do one that gives you defense. Yeah, you can do evade. You can do a slide. So if you just wanted to move sideways at 2 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, those hexes, and then go straight, you could.
What if we went 1 and then turned 1 to the left and then took the other 9 straight?
You can also do what's called full power, which you spend a resolve point, and if you succeed, you can move your starship up to 1.5 times its speed. So it's you don't roll for it. It's automatic. So it would give you 15 movement this turn if you spend a resolve point.
Sounds pretty good. Well, we actually don't need to go that fast. This thing's
So, Five, did you
Okay,
want to
but
do
it
anything special?
No.
All right, and did you want to do what Zarael was saying? I'm going to go ahead and expose the top of the map. It's not, I was just using this map because it's cool. Let me show you some more of it. Give me just a second. There you go. Like I said, this isn't really here. I'm just using this map because it worked for what it was doing, but there's not two other planets here. So there you go. Chat, that's what I was talking about. All right, and so I'm sorry, Bobby. Did you say you wanted to do what Israel said? And Israel, did you want to repeat what you said?
I said to go 1 hex and then turn 1 to the left and then go 9.
So that would make us be going more back to like 11 o'clock.
Correct.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't know, like that.
Yes.
1, 2, 3,
If you'll
4,
move it
5,
for me.
6, 7, 8, 9. It's funny, the drawing I did was exactly 9 squares. All right, so there we go. All right, so this thing is going to try firing at you one last time. No. All right, so interesting. It looks like it also calculated the distance. That's cool. All right, so it doesn't even come close. So you guys are able to quickly get away from this thing easily and move on.
Cool. I'm going to go back to my room now.
And that will drop us out of combat. As both you and the Nova Spawn live to fight another day or turn into a sun another day. All right, and so as you guys are cruising through the drift, more time passes.
Does
Does anybody else want to do any other downtime activities, or we're going to keep doing what you've been doing and maintaining those bonuses?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing what I was doing to maintain bonuses.
The bonuses that were given by the downtime things, or just in general?
Right, in general. No, the bonuses that were given to the downtime by the downtime things. So she's researching. 5-0 was maintaining his equipment, things like that.
After she does the plasma ribbon things, she's also going over her training and everything, Solarian and operational processes. Make sure she's sharp and on point. That's Serena.
All right. And so, did you want to make that a certain skill that you're trying to do, or are you trying to boost a weapon, or
Hmm.
notes?
The only thing I could think of would be the
Downtime.
working with trick attack and weapons. So it would be a combination of acrobatics, athletics, and then with the different weapons. Mostly with bite map, but she maybe do it with the plasma thing. Be a cool thing to try. Not sure if that could even be done. But she'll go through her
All right.
weapons and make decisions, and then you practice using her trick attack to perfect those things.
All right. So, go ahead and give me a. Let me see. Here it is. So go ahead and give me an acrobatics check. 15 plus 1.5 is 30. Was a DC 30, and you got a 31. So that was
There you go.
perfect. You just needed that. So on a success, the first time, if, with a 7, you got 31. Had you got a 16 or higher, then you would be able to do this twice. But
I mean the dice itself,
right, so it would have been a 40
right?
or higher, 10 more if it exceeded the DC of the drill check by 10. So basically, the next day, you can take a 10 on that roll. Instead of rolling your acrobatics
Okay.
check to do your sneak attack, you can
Okay.
just say, I roll 10. I roll a 10. Boom. So on the 10 on the
Okay.
die plus your 24, so you would roll an automatic 34. Boom.
Okay.
One time. So that open up the party combat trigger. Boom. All right, so there you go. That's added to you on the comment tracker as well. All right, so as you're cruising along, it takes you several more days. It is now the 12th of Sereneth.
Not the Seraph.
And you guys come out of the drift at 8:50 in the evening. I presume as you're getting close, you're going to call everybody to the bridge. You would know about a day or so in advance when your trip is almost done, so you guys can plan accordingly and rest accordingly, and figure out at what point you know you need to go to sleep so you can be rested. Maybe change your shifts a little bit, shorten the longer shifts So everybody's rested when you guys come out of the drift. So that way we're not going to worry about that type of thing. We're going to start right here. Everybody's rested with a full night's rest. Let me push that just to make sure. All right, and it looks like everybody is fully healed, so that's perfect. So as you come out of the drift, there's these strange quantum foam and clusters of planar debris, but you're able to easily avoid them, and it doesn't pose any threat to you. By the way, make sure that you have the correct role on the ship. Do we have a science officer?
Yes, no, see.
All right, so you're cruising along, and you see some a little, just for a second, you notice something on the screen. Nosy does, and so as you're trying to finagle it and get more information, let me push you a map.
Are we closing out the one from space?
Yes.
May I just say that on screen that these colors look rather obscene?
Okay. Did you notice the clouds that were moving across?
I did. Very cool. They're still moving.
All right, so put yourselves at one of the 4 stations. There are 4 seats, so
Just randomly. All right. Go right. It's not.
all right, so that leaves the middle one there for 5. All right, so you guys are sitting there, chilling, doing your stuff. As you drop into near space, drop out of the drift, it's not near space. Trying to find a picture of what here. There it is. Holy shnikes, it took forever. All right, so this being appears on the bridge of your ship.
Ooh. Got a Q thing happening.
So everybody go ahead and give me initiative.
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect.
Thanks. Not too bad. Oh,
Shock.
crap. Can you send me the map again?
And it takes
Fine.
a
Okay,
full
can
6
you send me
seconds.
that roll, Sven?
Okay.
I'm sorry. This-
5. There you go. All right, so you're not surprised because it takes a full 6 seconds for this thing to coalesce. And it says interlopers, you will cease your transgressions and return to your place of origin or be destroyed. And that is where we will leave it for tonight, since we only have 5 minutes left. Don't want to start a combat and stop in the middle of it.
And do we know what kind of creature this is? And is it substance or is it a hologram? Ghost.
You do not know if it's substantive or not, or if it's incorporeal. It appeared to, like I said, it looks like it was. Let's see. Let's just see just how much of a perception you guys took. DC is that perception. Boom. There you go. So you all have a roll.
Is this a different one? Yeah.
And who is trained in mysticism?
I don't see any belief. Hold on.
One.
I presume our two mystics are.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Hold on, Serena might be too. Hold on. She's trained in everything, so give me a second.
Did you want me to roll it or something?
She's trained, but she's a low-ranking. She can give her
I'll
2
just setting
cents,
it up
but
for the
nobody really
stream.
cares.
35. 35.
Did you want a mysticism roll or what?
Yeah, but I'm getting the DC set up for you and everything. Why isn't this working? Alright, it's not working. It's weird. Alright, so yeah, so it's a DC 35 mysticism check.
Believe.
There we go. It
That
did
work?
work. It just wasn't behaving. Alright, 31. Close. 38. Nice.
Did you shoot stuff to me too?
I'm like, you'd have to have a near perfect roll to get that. That's insane.
Like the one that Nosy just rolled?
Right?
Alright, so you know that this here, I know you guys are gonna say what? So let me
The hell is that sound? Mute your mic, for Christ's sake. Guys, give me such a hard time.
I don't say shit to you, Ron.
No, not you. And I'm always talking to you. You're the one that needs to mute your
There
mic
you go.
most of the time. And
All
then
right, so this is an Anhamut inevitable. It's an outsider tasked with protecting explorers of the galaxy. And so you do, and this also tells you he's normally a protector, so they normally wouldn't be aggressive. But again, everything you've run across so far has been aggressive, even if it's not supposed to. So that is where we will leave it. You guys can figure out what you want to do with this Anumat Inevitable next week, or 2 weeks from now, right now. Next week we have the Dawn of Flame campaign. So come back at 5:30ish, 6 o'clock for next week. And that's Pacific time. And check my Twitch schedule down below to see my other streams. Like, subscribe if you have Amazon Prime. Feel free to use your free subscription to support this channel. I will love you forever. I really appreciate when you do. Shout out to Mantha, who's been here, my chief moderator, also a subscriber for 5 months straight. Her and
Yay, Mantha!
Engorgio.
Do you have to resubscribe every
All
time?
right.
Every
Good
month?
night, guys.
Yes,
Good
every
night,
month.
Bobby.
Now, if you buy it for Amazon Prime, you do. For if you purchase the subscription, then you can purchase it for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. I don't know if it goes beyond 6 months. And it's cheaper if you do it that way. But for Amazon subscription, Amazon Prime, yes, you have to click it every month. But it'll tell you when your subscription is about to run out, and
Okay.
or when you look at the stream, it'll say resubscribe, and you can just click resubscribe. But Engorgio and Mantha know all about that because they're 5 months straight. Thank you so much, guys. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Send the link to your grandchild and whatever else you do. Enjoy the rest of your day. Say goodnight, guys.
Hey,
Good
guys.
night.